So I have already on two of my panelists, like I said, and I'm going to introduce them as we go straight into the discussion. I have first Mr. Mohammed Kazim Oladimeji, and he's the Vice President of the National Institute of Caregivers in Nigeria. Mr. Kazim, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. It's a great honor for me to be here this evening.
Thank you very much. And I know we're riding into your territory because we're talking about something that concerns a lot of people when we're talking about abuse and the elderly. So we will be looking forward to hearing from you down the line. Also, I have Ms. Damilola Grillo, and Ms. Damilola is the founder of Hold the Age, and she's also the Lagos State Coordinator of Coalition of Societies for Rights of Older Persons in Nigeria, COSROPIN. She's also the co-chair of the Lagos State chapter of the National Senior Citizens Center. Good evening, Dami.
Good evening. Good to be here. Thank you for having me this evening.
Thank you very much. So we're waiting on two other people to join the discussion. It was supposed to be a roundtable discussion. However, we are here and we're going to be talking about what is important. So our discussion today is centered around elderly abuse with neglect as a focal point for health and well-being. And we're going to start with what are the key indicators of neglect in the elderly population, and how can healthcare providers, caregivers, and communities identify and address them. So I'm going to throw
it's let me start by saying there are different kinds of neglect and there are different kinds of abuse in the elderly. And we have the physical, the psychological, which is also known as the emotional abuse. We have the sexual abuse, and we have abandonment. So let me first of all say that when an older person when you feel that there's a neglect going on, especially among spouses, when a spouse dies, when a partner dies, sometimes the surviving partner becomes so laid back, doesn't want to do anything as a result of grief and going through a lot. That is neglect on the part of the person himself. And then now when we're not talking about abandonment, the people that are supposed to take care of the elderly and not doing their duties, like a vulnerable older adult, and then you don't see them, there's a bit of loneliness, and from there, there's that no care attitude being given to them. Then we have older people being financially abused as well. So these are the signs that one sees and knows that, oh, this person is being abused. And in our own part of the world, quite a number of people do not even understand that older adults are being abused because they are actually ignorant that, oh, what I'm doing to my parent or to this older relative is something called an abuse. You might see children yelling at their parents, screaming at their parents, not because they don't even know that this person may be suffering from hearing loss, that the parent is not even telling them, trying to cover up on their own part. We have workers, domestic staff doing all sorts with older parents, and they don't see it as anything. They just say, oh, the person is old, the person is not listening, the person has turned into a child. No, these are all forms of physical abuse that if they are not addressed, they're escalated, and before you know it, it turns into physical abuse too. And it takes quite a number of professionals to know that even an older person is being abused. If there's no eye contact, sometimes you have to separate the person that is being abused from their immediate environment and talk to the person separately, and that's when you discover the person is being abused.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grillo.